Are you sure there's not one more thing you want to talk about? A certain game console is revealed that kind of didn't live up to the expectations?
That's right. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a couple days now. This is my personal hot take. Is that the PS5 reveal was an absolute disaster and pointless. Now I know what you guys must be thinking. What are you talking about, Chandler? They finally said something. Let me tell you why it's pointless. So basically, there was a couple months building up to the PS5. Right at this point, Xbox was blowing PlayStation out of the water, revealing their specs first, I think, and then revealing their console at E3. Meanwhile, Sony just dropped out of it and didn't even hardly show anything. So already people were starved for attention. They wanted to see more. They wanted any information, anything they can grasp onto to kind of get them excited for the console. And then out of nowhere, PlayStation revealed a thing on their website where it's like a countdown to the reveal event. Got people excited. We were ready. We were finally getting something about the PS5, and it was a 50-minute demonstration about the hardware of the PS5. That's it. That's all we've got. It was basically aimed at developers of the console, trying to get developers and other companies excited for the PS5. That was it. That was it. That is something that Xbox did after they revealed their console. Hey, here's what our console looks like. And Sony, almost a year later, was like, "Oh, hey, here's our specs. So look onto that." Now, I usually don't get upset about things when it comes to gaming because I mean it's gaming. Like, right, people are going to get mad at everything. But I'm talking to Sony as a company. How you doing, Sony? Big fan. What the fuck are you doing? You made us wait all this time for a reveal. That's even what you labeled it, as a reveal event, and it just ended up being the hardware, which is impressive. But rumors are starting to come around that it's even less powerful in the Xbox Series X. What are you doing? Give us something. Get people excited. At this point, as it stands right now, there's nothing been out for the PS5. Nothing other than the hardware in that event. And I could care less about it. I know for a lot of people out there, the specs that they showed is super impressive. But everything they told us, the key features, we've already known about. We've already known about the quicker load times, which is something that I think a lot of game developers are really pushing down our throats, is how quick the games load and how quick it's going to download. That's cool. Like that's awesome. Make us gamers play the game quicker and faster. But we need something else other than specs. Like, that's fine if you reveal the specs later on. But someone like me, someone who's looking forward to the PS5 and who's probably going to buy it over the Xbox Series X, I could care less about specs. I want to see, honestly, show us what the system looks like. That's all I care about. Like, show me what the system looks like. Give us a release window. Give us something. Like, oh, hey, but they said holiday 2020. That could literally mean anything. That could be Thanksgiving to Christmas, which is, it'll probably be like it'll probably be around Thanksgiving, close to Christmas, because they got to get that Christmas money. I feel like Sony now has gotten cocky. I feel like they think that no matter what they do, they're going to kill it. Like, oh, we just show them the specs. They're going to buy our console later on. It's either cockiness or there's something seriously wrong with the system and they don't want to tell us about it yet. There's two things I want to talk about more than the rest, because the specs it's impressive. That's Greek to me. Someone out there who knows more about teraflops and SSD, comment down below and tell me what that stuff means and compare it to Xboxes. I've seen comparisons. The two things I want to talk about as a consumer of gaming products is subscription services and backwards compatibility, because those are two huge things coming into the next console war. So Xbox, I feel like, and they might have even said this before. Again, I'm not a reporter. I'm just a guy talking about games. They built all their systems leading up to the Series X off of each other. So I think the Duke was basically the predecessor to the Xbox 360. They just made it better. That's why you can play. I think you can play original Xbox One games. I didn't own an Xbox 360 until much later. And then the Xbox One, you can play Xbox 360 games on it. And then eventually you can play the Duke, which is what I'm calling the OG Xbox. And now with the Xbox Series X, they're like, hey, you can play Xbox One games, 360, and you can play the original Xbox games on this one system. So that motivates people who have grown up with an Xbox to buy an Xbox Series X because they're not going to lose their games. On the flip side, you go to PlayStation, who are just now like, maybe we should do backwards compatibility. They're like, it's only backwards compatibility to PS4, which is great, which is awesome. I have PS4 games still, and I love the fact that I'm going to be able to play my PS4 games and games that I love. But here's where I have a problem with that. It is just PS4 games. It is like, you have all these terrific classic games from the PS3, PS2, and even the PS1 that we're not going to be able to play because I don't like. Again, I'm not a game developer or anything, but it's just because like maybe you're focused on your game, your what games you're making now, which is great, which is awesome. Sony has always had a good track record with making good first party games. Yeah. They've always had a good track record with making good first party games. You know, a lot of my favorite games are Sony games. And I love my PS4. But I feel like that was a huge drop. They dropped the ball on that one. I feel like with backwards compatibility, there's such a huge market there. People like me who are nostalgic for the PS3 and PS2 games, and even PS1. People like who are nostalgic for it can't play them unless, this comes to my part 2, they get the subscription service, the PlayStation Now compared to the Game Pass. And if you, in my honest opinion, Xbox kills it in that department. They have so many classic, great games on the Game Pass that are either backwards compatible from the Xbox One or the first Xbox, to modern releases that are releasing on Game Pass, which is awesome, which is great, and it's even bundled with their Gold, so you can buy the Xbox Live Ultimate bundle for I think $14 a month, or I think it's like $80 a year. You flip over to the PlayStation side with Plus, which is already $60, and then you buy Now, PlayStation Now, which at the beginning you could not download those games. Game Pass you can, Xbox or PlayStation Now you could not download them at first, so you had to stream them. Huge negative. Now you can download them. But the library of PlayStation Now games, I feel like, are games that we've already played. If you're a PlayStation fan, you've already played a lot of the heavy hitters that are available on PlayStation Now. And if you haven't, they're like timed exclusives. Like you might only be able to play them for a month. Like I said, I do not know how most of this stuff works. If that undermines my credibility, so be it. I'm just giving you my opinion as a consumer. So those are two things to me that's important coming into this next console war. Xbox has even shown us what the controller looks like. They're like, oh, here's the system, and here's what the controller looks like. It literally looks like the Xbox 360, looks like the Xbox One controller, just with an added button and a couple grips that makes it easier to hold. We have not gotten anything like that from Sony. And I feel like Sony is now, they've dropped the ball massively with this PS5 reveal. Maybe we'll get something later on. Maybe we'll get like an reveal during the summer, which probably E3. They might have had something planned, in a separate event because Sony doesn't do E3 anymore. But my thing is like they've given us nothing to hold on to. They've given us nothing really to grasp onto. No hope. And unless they've done this before, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they showed the specs before the PS4 reveal. I don't know. But I'm just worried that Sony, and this is what it boils down to, I'm just worried that Sony's getting cocky. I'm worried that they're so confident and they're so blind to Xbox now catching up to them that they're just not they're not going to give us top tier quality. They're just going to give us just good enough. It's just the PS4 but better. Meanwhile, Xbox is like, here's the Xbox Series X, which surpasses the Xbox One. That's what I'm afraid of. And if that so happens to be the case, then you'll hear from me later on. But as it's being said now, I think Sony dropped the ball with the PS5 event, and they're dropping the ball even now. They've given us nothing. They've given us no games confirmed for the PS5. They've given us no gameplay. They've not even given us a single breadcrumb. They're being super quiet. They're being too quiet. And I don't want to see them lose. Just like I don't want to see Xbox. I don't want to see them, drop their exclusives, because I can talk shit on Xbox too about how, they don't really have exclusives that drives me to want to buy an Xbox Series X. I can talk that too. I could talk about Nintendo not adding a GameCube style subscription like they do with their Super Nintendo and their Nintendo. What is it? Super Nintendo, the SNES, and the Nintendo Entertainment Center system, and their Super Nintendo. I can talk crap on that too. And I don't want to see game developers and I don't see game companies become lackadaisical because they're so cocky. And you see this all the time with like Bethesda. That's all I want. I just don't want them to drop the ball on this event. So hopefully in the next couple months, they will reveal something. They will show us something that's mind-blowing and actually give us more than enough for the wait. We'll just have to wait and see. So guys, thank you for, sticking with this kind of serious video for a little bit. It's not really kind of video that I'm used to making. There's probably a lot of contradictions I've made. But again, this is kind of a off the top of the head, kind of just spare the moment. My computer monitor just turned back on. It's just spur of the moment kind of thing. I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about it. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. If you think they're being cocky, if you think they're being smart. Who do you think will win the next console war? Because as it stands right now, I don't know. But I think it's leading toward Xbox. So again, see you guys in the next video. This is Blackie Chan. Signing off, guys.